Had yourself crying on that one. You know that's when it's working. When you can get yourself crying. Wow. Wow. How many of us have thought that love is only for the lucky and the strong? How many of us have been looking for a long, long time out there somewhere to find that love that's already within us, that we're the seed of that love that everyone is looking for in the world? But that seed needs the sun's love. The metaphor is great because me as a seed, I need God's love. I need your love. I need to be nurtured until I start to grow on my own, until I start to move into the fullness of what I was meant to be. I sit in potential as a human being until I awaken to the grandeur, the glory, the magnificence that I truly am. And we remember that. That's the forgotten song that Lily was using as our meditation. We remember that song together. We start to hear the voice for God. It speaks in vibrations. It's said that the universe doesn't understand your words, so don't worry about what words you use. We spent a lot of time in Unity trying to find the right words, trying to reject certain words and accept others and make it all proper, and it doesn't matter. The vibration of your heart, that's what matters. How many of us have imagined a world where everyone loves each other? Have you imagined that? Have you seen that in your mind? You're not alone. I would venture to guess everyone at one time or another has thought the same thing. Why can't we live in peace? What would it take? What does that world look like? And what is my part in making that happen? That's exciting. That's the joyful realization of the awakening, is that your part is integral. Thank you. I'm glad I said that first.
The vibration of your heart.
Thank you. You matter. Your part is integral to this process of awakening humanity. What's interesting, on Mother's Day, I would like to take a look at how do we surround the world with love. Can we put that up there? How do we do this? I think one of our biggest mistakes is that we've designed religions, we've kind of morphed into religions that just focus on a male counterpart, just a male figure. For centuries, our religions have focused on the male energy, a God outside of you, a figure in the sky that determines what's going to happen. And you pray to that figure, please help me, or give me this, or can you change the circumstance? Well, it's not really how it works. When your circumstances change, it's because your mind has changed, because your thoughts about it have changed, and your vibrational relationship to your world has changed. That's when everything shifts. It's not a God out there doing you a favor. As Bruce so perfectly described last week, God is a universal intelligence that's within all things. And he called it a supernatural intelligence, but the Fillmores, Charles Fillmore in particular, said, it's not so supernatural, it's natural. It's our natural state of being. We've just forgotten who we are. The natural state of a human being is that of a creature created by a universal intelligence. And so that intelligence is what I am. It's what dwells in me, in every cell and every thought I have. I'm covering it over with a lot of other stuff. And I'm, on Mother's Day here today, I'm going to put forward an idea. that you need both the masculine and feminine within you, and the masculine and feminine idea of God to be working together in you. Because what we've set up with the male-oriented religions, right, is God and a force fighting against God. So there's two forces that are against each other. The only two primary forces really is male and female. And they need to be working in harmony for you to be in the awareness of your wholeness as a child of God. I looked on the internet and I found a website. It was pretty interesting, called The Goddess Lifestyle. There's a lot of really cool people who are just working with the feminine energies. There's been so many working just with male energies for so long that some of them now just want to work with the female energy. And I read something very interesting, and it's from Lisa Marie Rosati, and she wrote, "The divine feminine represents the supreme level of feminine expression and manifestation in the universe. She comprises the best of the feminine in all its measure. She exists in all faiths and all traditions and has so since the beginning of time. The divine feminine is mystical, magical, powerful, sacred, and part of all that exists, will exist, ever has existed. She symbolizes balance and healing, renewal, restoration, intuition, creativity, love, and compassion." Who needs the masculine after all that? Those are all qualities I like. But she also is the counterpart to the sacred masculine. And together they keep the universe in balance. The divine feminine aspects are nurturing, love, understanding, compassion, intuition, creativity, forgiveness, healing, wisdom, receptivity. And, she adds, other nonlinear qualities. If that's not enough, you also have nonlinear qualities, each and every one of you. By focusing on the masculine alone, we haven't been able to manifest all of these beautiful qualities in the world in a way that was meant to be. If you look around at the war and the conflict and all the things that are put forward as a necessary part of life, you must be sick and tired of it by now. I was sick and tired of it when I was 7 years old. And I began to look for ways in which my spiritual nature could be expressed in the world. And I know a lot of you are doing this 24 hours a day. This is your whole life now, to be a balanced spiritual being manifesting the goodness and love of God in the world. We're surrounding the world with love all the time with our prayers, and our prayer energy is very powerful. It's very important. And actually, if you read the Course of Miracles or come on a Thursday night, you'll find out that the real world is the only reality that you actually have. All else is an illusionary reality of conflict. And it will disappear because it's temporary. But through the power of your mind, you keep it alive for you, and you pretend that that's reality and that's your world. Conflict does not, and many of you may agree with me, conflict does not exist in the mind of a loving God, in a universal intelligence that is impersonal, that is everywhere, that is beyond limitation, that is beyond my capacity to categorize in a human concept, a human characteristic. The divine intelligence of the universe is constantly blessing me and you, constantly loving us, just like the sun, nurturing that seed until it grows into its fullness. The divine universal intelligence is what you are. All it is drawing you to itself, calling you home. Course in Miracles also says, love, which created me, is what I am. So actually, we're just simply uncovering and shedding these layers of illusion and judgment we've had upon ourselves. We're just letting go of our own judgment upon ourselves. Self-forgiveness, self-love. And we're doing this in order to reveal our true divine nature, which is one of perfect love. I've been around the world. I've had many spiritual teachers. I've read thousands of spiritual books. I've been to every spiritual workshop and retreat known to man. And yet, my greatest teachers in this world are my mother and my wife. You can't get away from it. Because they see you every day. They see you in your best times and your worst. And my mom, she was supposed to be here today. She got a little dizzy on the way out the door. Too much spiritual energy, probably. So she's going to watch the video. Hi, Mom. She also said, I'll come if you don't talk about me. Sorry. I have to talk about her because she's one of my greatest teachers. Since I was a little boy, she told me, you will succeed in anything you do. She actually said, Jimmy? I wasn't Tony then. I was born James. She called me Jimmy. I hated Jimmy. So luckily, one of my other spiritual teachers called me Tony because I didn't like Jimmy. But she said to me, Jimmy, you will succeed in whatever you want to do. I just want you to be happy. That's all. And that got deep into my soul, deep into my mind, and my idea about myself. And I knew from that moment forward that I would succeed at anything I tried to do. And I tried to do a lot of things and I succeeded, but those things didn't make me happy. I forgot the second part of the teaching. I just want you to be happy. Do what makes you happy. That got into my heart. That got into my mind. Then life began to happen. Then I began to see for the first time what life could really be for me and for everyone. That's when I first had the vision of a world where everyone loved each other and was living without conflict. If I can live without conflict and be happy and successful at anything I put my mind to, so can everyone. And in fact, if we do it together, then that's where it really works. That's where I really become happy. Because your happiness is mine. I could never be happy when someone else is suffering. That's why we take on service jobs. That's why we take on opportunities to help others. Because I could never be happy if other people are not happy. Your happiness is mine. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. And that should give you enough motivation to keep going. Never be satisfied with less than what brings you your ultimate happiness, your ultimate joy. What does Nancy say? You're making it all up, so make it up great. She's going to be our speaker on June 5th, so you guys mark that on your calendar. We're listening. It's going to be great. We're listening. We're listening to each other because there are a lot of great teachers here. What I propose today is that we accept the female part of us as being at least as powerful as the male counterpart. We've been so busy striving and putting forth our assertiveness in the world and creating this and that out there. Let's be receptive. Let's be nurturing. Let's be compassionate to one another. And let's surround the world with our love. Let's just make a decision that that's okay to do. Even in a world where they say it won't work, it's okay. It has to work. It's the only thing that will work. And it does, and it has been working. And the cool thing about it, the best thing about this whole awakening is that you find yourself in a completely new world. It wasn't the old world at all. That is gone. And everyone's still thinking that that's real and is still living in the world of conflict. They'll find you. They're looking for you. You're their teachers. They're looking for you now. The minute you've accepted your function as a teacher of peace, a teacher of God, the minute you accepted that function, your students started looking for you. Everyone that needs to hear this from you is already looking for you. You have a specific and beautiful and wonderful purpose to accomplish here. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for being here and doing that. No matter what your talents or skills are, they're needed in the world today. You are the holy, magnificent, beautiful example of a loving God. And the final thing that my mom taught me that was very important, she woke up from her deathbed to tell me, keep your sermons short. Thank you.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.